So just so everyone knows, David bought, what would you call this? An
It's
LED.
just LED light strips. They're super cheap. I found them at like Ross or something.
How much are they in general?
For 2 sets, it was like $15.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, for two different
I didn't know
sets
that.
of it. And you actually take scissors and snip them. But,
Dude, it looks so sick. I'm gonna. Okay, so it can change colors. You had it on a setting where it changed a bunch of colors, right?
yeah, it can like
Like party
fade
mode.
in and out. Yeah, it's like a strobe.
Yeah. Today we're going blue.
We're going blue.
I really like it. It's gonna be hard to convince me to go a different color. Just
I like red, dude.
the vibe of this place is immaculate right now.
We're making some serious headway in this sauna, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a good time with it. So in the last like 3 days, I've gone from having one dog to having now 3 dogs.
I get here and there's 2 dogs outside waiting for me, and I thought one of them was Peaches, the one we always know. I'm like, that doesn't look like Peaches, and then it wasn't.
Yeah. So one of them is my brother's, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure why he wanted me to take her, but he asked me to, and so I said, we'll try it. We'll see how she gets along with Peaches.
Is that a semi-permanent, permanent thing, or just like a few weeks?
If Cora and Peaches can get along and get some chemistry and be friends, then yeah, I mean, sure, I'm happy to keep her. I think I was like semi-sleeping when Andrew told me why he wanted me to take her. So to be honest, I have no idea what it was. But let's see, the other one, which I'm currently calling Brown Dog, because he's brown. He just showed up. He just showed up outside my gate the other day, and looking at them, they are so him and Peaches are so incredibly similar. And you got to think, I mean, I found Peaches on the side of the road like 2 miles from here. Or no, sorry, like 2 years ago, like a quarter mile from here, maybe a half mile the most, down on WR's Road.
I might have to believe that.
No, you don't, and the reason you don't is because it's not called WR's Road.
Oh, okay.
We call it, I've grown up calling it WR's Road.
Is that Cat Lady Road?
No, House of Cats Way?
Yeah.
No, that's...
I don't know.
That's up past that S-curve.
I don't know about
WR, we called it WR's Road because there was a guy named WR that lived down it, and he used to have a bunch of dogs, actually. But anyway, I found her. I was actually stargazing. Speaking of, tonight, after we finish with this podcast, we got to go outside because we're in the middle of this big meteor shower.
Okay.
Did you hear about that?
No.
It's something like, I think it was supposed to be 90 meteors per hour or something, which is a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, it was last night and tonight.
I did have a random.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 150 degrees. You're listening to the 150 Degrees podcast with Bennett and Davy.
I think it's okay if we say this one, but we got a gong today.
Well, we purchased a gong today.
It's not here yet.
Yeah. We're gonna have a little miniature gong to.
They are not like a deep gong sound. It's like ding. It's like a very high pitch.
It's gonna be wildly underwhelming.
It is, because if anyone doesn't know, deep sounds are produced by big things, and it's a very tiny gong, so it's gonna be a very tiny sound.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll edit in a very big, deep sound. But on the way here, I literally had no idea about the meteor storm. And I was just thinking about astrology.
You mean astronomy?
Astronomy. I don't even know what.
Astronomy is the study of stars. Astrology is like, that's when you get into all it's all the fake stuff. And if It's all like the Libra. And
okay.
I say fake stuff. I personally believe it's fake, and I think anybody who believes it's real, you're welcome to. I'm not going to hate on you. I know plenty of people who do. I just don't see any evidence of it, to be perfectly honest.
I really want to. Maybe we can do this together. I want to go for a month, just dedicating my life to whatever it says. I don't actually know what they do, so I've never looked at this. I just think it'd be a fun experiment just to.
Well, I always thought it was just like, oh, it was basically like a personality test kind of thing. It was like, oh, you're a Libra, you're a Scorpio. I think I'm a Scorpio, born in November.
We're both Scorpio.
I guess we are. Cause
I was about to ask you. I was like, which one are you? And I was like, oh yeah, we have
probably
almost the same birthday.
And so that right there, that alone is evidence enough for me, because you and I are wildly different people. Okay, think about that. Honestly, we are about as different as you can possibly be, and yet we're both Scorpios. So how could there be any weight behind any of it? If you see what I'm saying, it's like
I forgot we had our phones up there. I was gonna like Google Scorpio.
I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was people were way more into it than. I always thought it was just like a personality test kind of thing. Like, oh, you're an 8 on the Enneagram, or like my Myers-Briggs is ENTP, right? I've done all those. I know what those are. But I went out with this girl, and she was super, super into the astrology thing. She was into like crystals and she told me.
Is there a correlation between crystals and astrology?
I don't know. I don't know. She told me all about it, but it was honestly hard to pay attention.
That's so bad.
It was bad. I was really nice. Like I was nice, and we had a good time or whatever. We went to ice cream. We got food and ice cream and all that, but when she jumped into the astrology thing, I started kind of nodding off a little bit, but what was interesting was the way she talked about it. It was, how do I say this without frustrating a bunch of people? It was a little sad to me, because it was like, instead of her living her life and then looking at astrology and be like, oh, look how cool that is. It's like, that's kind of true.
It kind of lines up.
Okay. Instead of that, it was, I'm going to look at the astrology thing and then base my life off of that. And it's like, that was her life.
Yeah.
That was a little sad, because it was like, okay, I guess, I don't know. I live in the other direction.
Was it working for her?
Well, no.
Okay. I was like,
well, not at all. Honestly.
Was there any credence to this?
It was. I work kind of the other way around. I'm more like, live your life, and then, hey, if you see cool little coincidences along the way, great. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, whoops.
Hold on. Is your tablet on the table in there? Did I see it?
My tablet. It's dead. Although I have an iPad. My work iPad is in my work bag.
Go get your work.
I'm not on the internet with it, though. What do you want to look up?
I wanted to look up what is a Scorpio. Like, what's the personality traits?
I don't really know much about those, but I would just say, if you're into it, that's fine. I'm not going to knock it. I'm just saying, I personally don't think there's any validity there. I
think a lot of people I've heard of talk about it really just do it for like funsies.
And I think that's the healthy way to look at it.
That's kind of cool.
I feel like it's just kind of a rabbit hole that can very easily be gone down. It could be very easy to get sucked down into a rabbit hole. Where she was saying, like, not only were there, based on when you were born, but like every day, based on the minute of the day that you were born, like you'd have your own signs, and it just started to get real complicated real quick.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the dogs. So I now have 3 dogs. Okay, love that transition. I now have 3 dogs. I did reach out today to a friend of mine who's on Facebook, and she's a big dog lady, and she is going to put up pictures of Brown Dog onto Facebook.
Yeah.
For the local, how I found Peaches.
Yeah.
Right. She's gonna list Brown Dog, and honestly, him and Peaches get along so well, and they're basically identical.
Yeah.
It's just a male, and he has not been neutered, but she's been spayed, so I'm not worried about that. But they get along so well that if I can't find the owner, I'll probably just keep them. I mean, because they get along well. Yeah. Really, Cora is the one I'm worried about. They kind of have sectioned up the yard where it's like the front is Cora's and the back is Peach's, and they don't really cross it, you know.
Yeah.
And if anybody,
They were happy when I walked in.
yeah, but that was because you were there. As soon as you're not there or food gets brought out, they kind of snarl at each other.
Yeah.
There hasn't been any full on like drawing blood fighting yet, but I hesitate to go to work with leaving them together when I go to work, because then if they start to fight, then there's nothing I can do about
What
it.
would you do with Cora?
Either send her back to my brother, or
that's the one. Oh, yeah.
yeah, Cora's the one for my brother. I could send her back to my brother if it doesn't work out, or the lady I mentioned who found Peaches. She actually has a friend who's looking for a dog, and he really liked Peaches, and Cora looks and acts very similar to Peaches, so
Yeah.
that might be a good fit. I don't know. We'll see.
She looks like she has black eyeliner on.
Cora or
Yeah,
Peaches?
Cora.
That's because her eyes are blue.
Yeah, it looks.
She has husky eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all beautiful dogs. I mean, I think they are, but anyway.
What's?
Oh,
I don't know if we can even talk. Oh,
it just fell.
I thought that was a. I was pointing at the ceiling and I thought it was a wire, and I was like, "That's a new wire."
That's a new one. I actually plan on replacing that part of the roof and actually put a hinge in it so you can like open it like a door and get to stuff up there, because all the electronics and stuff is all up on over the roof.
So everyone, the computer screen just turned off, and I'm now just hoping that
I bet it just went to sleep. I bet.
Yeah, I didn't know if it would actually do that while it's recording or not.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if this episode's only 10 minutes long.
Man, you're close. It's been 11 minutes. Wow.
Have a good judge of
good work on that one.
time
good
in
work
my
there. But
dude, okay, I used to have this sick ability when I was growing up. Okay, and so we would watch TV on whatever, like cable, and there'd be commercial breaks. Now, someone tell me if they've done this out there, but without fail, when I used to watch TV all the time, I was a kid. This was my entire life. I was like, I would walk away when the commercial went on and then know exactly which commercial was ending to start the show back.
did you just hear the computer?
I did.
Was that a problem?
It's fine.
Okay.
It might be. It might not be. We're gonna redo this tomorrow.
Listen, if it's failed and I have to stay in here for another 30 minutes in this sauna,
We'll
I'm
just
not
do it
going to be happy about
We'll
it.
do it again tomorrow. Okay.
Dude, that kind of leads us into something I wanted to talk about, because this is something I've been fighting today specifically.
What?
There are not enough. There are not enough hours in a day.
Yes.
Okay, there's not enough time in a day. I woke up this morning at like 6:30, and I swear I have not taken a break once, and I feel like I haven't gotten anything done. I mean, I got up, I did some stuff, got all my clothes up, that kind of stuff, cleaned this morning, cleaned some of the house this morning before church, went to the early service, and then I got lunch, got groceries, went to the gym, came home, put everything away, right?
Yeah.
Straightened up. I worked on that fence for a while. That fence outside for a while. I pulled the capacitor off of my washing machine because my washing machine's busted, and I'm trying to figure out why. And we think it might be.
Did the capacitor shock you too?
No, but did I tell you that? I told you.
You said you got. That's when you called me. It's like I just got shocked.
So my dad has a fence checker, it checks like the voltage of the fence, and it's never shocked me before, and it's not supposed to, right? But you are the ground for that piece of equipment, and so it stands to reason. At some voltage level, you will surpass the capacity of that electric fence checker.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that checker is, one, you don't have to bend down and stick a stake in the ground because you are the ground. There's a metal plate on the back that you hold on to. But also, it does a really cool thing where it'll tell you the voltage, right? So mine was run at 13 kV, so 13,000 volts.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for a small fence. But if there's a short, it will tell you where the amps are being pulled, right? So okay. So voltage is like pressure, right?
Yeah.
So think about it like a big pipe of water
Okay.
around the house.
Okay.
There can be 13,000 volts. That's pressure. There can be that much pressure when there's no leaks.
Yeah.
Right. But now when there's a leak or a short, right, you are essentially, there's a hole in that pipe. Okay. Now the amps has to do with the size of the hole. So it's the flow. It's the current.
Okay.
Right. So amps are current. And so this thing can actually read which direction the amp. So think about it. If I had a pipe that was totally sealed off and it had that much pressure in it, it wouldn't be going. There wouldn't be travel. Like it's not going anywhere. It's just under pressure. Right.
Yeah.
It's not until I spring a leak that there's flow.
Yeah.
Right. So this thing has the capability to measure the direction of that flow. So it can literally give you an arrow pointing to you to where your short is, because your short is wherever you're dumping voltage or dumping current to ground, right?
Yep.
And it'll tell you the direction, and it'll tell you the amount of amps that it was pulling. So it'll tell, or I guess milliamps or what, it doesn't matter. So it'll tell you the amperage. And so it will literally, it's the coolest thing because it will just lead you to the short. It'll lead you to the problem.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll lead you to the hole in the pipe, you know?
Yes. So how did it make you the problem?
So the problem I had with it is my fence charger surpasses the max. I think this is what happens. I think my fence charger surpassed the maximum voltage that it could handle.
Yeah.
So instead of it checking anything, it just jumped to ground through me and shocked the crap out of me. And that was unpleasant.
Did you have to hit a button to activate this, or why were you touching this?
Yeah. You hold it in your hand and you hit a button and it reads it, and basically set it on the fence.
Okay.
And then your hand is holding onto a plate, and so but it jumped to ground through me, so I got shocked. I got shocked with like 13,000 volts. Okay. So it was unpleasant, and then I was a little cranky. When I called you, I was a little cranky. I don't know if you noticed or not.
That was funny. Was that right after you got shocked?
That was literally like 2 minutes after I was still feeling the buzz.
So that means you got shocked, got mad, and just instantly went to your car.
Well, I went back
because your phone was in your car.
I was driving. My phone was charging in my car, and I had to take that fence checker back to Dad and say, "This thing just shocked the crap out of me." So I used the old style fence charger.
Did he laugh at you?
Yeah, a little bit. But then he took it out to make sure I didn't break his checker. But I've got an old style with this. It's just got the light bulbs on it that'll flash.
Hold on. So why were you checking this?
Because I was trying to fix my fence.
So it was this fence, not this.
Yeah, it was this fence over here.
Okay.
But I mean, no, yeah. I think a 2-joule fence.
What's the point of this fence? Does it keep dogs
in? Keep dogs in and keep other dogs out. My neighbor's got dogs too.
Okay, because I was like, it wasn't working.
No, it wasn't. And the dogs were getting out. Like, that was another thing I did after church. After the gym, I got home and I had to drive up and down the road until I found Peaches, and Brown Dog was right there with her. They had just gotten out of the creek, okay, and they were up next to the dump. And Peaches will just jump right up in your car, right?
Yeah.
You open the door, she'll jump in your car. But she was nasty, okay? So she jumped over top of me into the passenger seat, covered in mud and crap. And then in the rear view, I saw Brown Dog following me in the car. And I started to drive away slowly, so hoping he would just follow me, because I didn't know if he would get in the car. Yeah. But he started whining and whimpering and everything, so I stopped and opened the door and called him over to me, and he jumped up into my lap, and I pushed him over onto Peaches, and it was honestly quite comical because they were both like, "We're just happy to be here," and I was like, "Yeah," "I'm gonna have to go clean my car." And
so we need to do this anyways, but we could do this before our podcast too. We should go just jump in the river, like down at Laurel Run.
Why go to Laurel Run? There's a put-in right down the road. I
didn't know how much the pressure was. The pressure? Like if we'd flow away.
Oh no, it's not bad. We can walk down there if we wanted, but yeah. It's a 2-minute drive down the road.
Wait, am I allowed?
Are you allowed to?
Dang it! Say the park's name.
The what?
The park's name.
Laurel Run Park?
Yeah.
Oh, that's far enough away where nobody'd ever figure out where we live.
Okay.
I also think you're overestimating how many people this is going to reach. Cool thing about Laurel
I'm just
Run
trying to
Park-
make good habits.
Yeah, I agree. Cool thing. What'd you just throw at me?
I don't know.
Cool thing about Laurel Run Park. Have you ever seen the movie The River?
I've heard about it.
So it was a Mel Gibson, Sissy Spacek, and whoever Kramer was from Bourne Ultimatum. I don't remember his name. But it was a Mel Gibson movie. And it sounds like a boring movie, but honestly, give it a watch.
I need
It's
to
a
watch
good
it.
movie. It's about...
I just need to watch it because it's here.
Yeah, I mean, so for those of y'all who don't know, we have a park that's relatively close to where we live, Laurel Run Park, and it was actually... I think some company came down and bought like 1,000 acres of land or something crazy, and they got permission to dam up the river so that they could make a movie. And I believe I've been told that where the put-in is at Laurel Run Park is where they actually dammed up the river. So those rocks that jut out, and those rocks that jut out into the, apparently that's where the dam was.
Okay.
So they dammed up the river to simulate the flooding that happens, which still happens about twice a year around here. You know what I'm talking about. You live down close to the river. And
Well, I drive across the bridge.
Yeah. But honestly, yeah, our creek and our river flood about twice a year. And this movie was essentially about the industrialization of farming. So you think, 50, 60, 80 years ago, you had what was called like elevators, grain elevators.
Yeah.
I think that's what they called them. And it was essentially like I could have a 50-acre farm and grow corn. And when I was ready to harvest, I could take that corn to a grain elevator and sell it to him. And the elevator would then take it and they would sell it to big, like supermarkets and stuff. Like that's how it got to the public, was through the elevator. Because people weren't, shopping at farmers markets, right? And then along came the, kind of the industrialization of farming, where large corporations started buying up vast amounts of land. And then based on that movie, now don't quote me on this, but based on that movie, I think they essentially utilized the grain elevators to push out the farmers, the small farmers, and then buy up all their land. And honestly, I think you can go back in history and you can see how the industrialization of farming, that's where a lot of the junk in our food came from. I mean, like microplastics and GMOs and that kind of stuff. I think if you went back, 80 years ago, and I may be wrong, I'm not super educated on this, but I think if you went back, 50, 80 years ago, I don't think you'd have all that. I don't think you'd have all that stuff, because you're buying from Jimmy Bob, not, you're buying even stuff like chickens. You're not buying chickens from Tyson. You're buying chickens from, Joey down the road, right? So.
Yes. So I got to ask you, because this is tangentially related. Okay.
Ooh, nice. Good word. Tangential.
So I started using that word in my music lessons, and I had to go look it up, make sure I was using it right. No one knew what I was talking about, but I was like, this sounds cool. Okay. So dying in an elevator has to be one of like the most terrifying experiences.
Why?
I just imagine. I hate elevators just because I like steps. I'm not really afraid of them falling, but I'm like, how likely... you're supposed to like lay down when it falls, right?
Really?
You're supposed to like lay on the floor face down. It's supposed to like maximize your chance of survival.
I feel like standing up,
Am I right?
but bending your knees would be the best, because you might like break your legs, but you've at least got some cushion. You don't think so?
We need the need the iPad so bad.
Yeah, that's my fault. I will have a dedicated podcast iPad. And I've got an iPad from literally like 6 years ago.
There are so many YouTube videos on this of like, if this falls, you're supposed to do this, and I just don't believe it.
Well, okay, so my dad, when he was living he briefly lived in Germany a few times.
Yeah.
For work, and I think he said that he actually came across a one-person continuous elevator. So it was literally like the size of it was like a size. It was these little. It was basically, it was like an escalator. So it just ran all the time.
Yeah.
And there was basically a doorway, and there were two doorways, one coming down and one going up, and you could step, and it was running at a constant speed, and you just had to step on it at the right time and get in this little pod that went up. But you think if you stepped on it at the wrong time, you'd like get like cut in half. So it's literally can you envision what I'm saying? It's like a
dumbwaiter.
Yes,
you know what those are?
It's a human-sized dumbwaiter that continuously runs, and it goes up and comes down, and so you can just step.
I assume
on
it's like on two sides, and the down's coming down on this side.
Yeah,
where
I think
you
it
can
just
step
flips.
in. Yeah,
it just flips over. But I think that'd be a kind of a cool thing to do.
Wait for it to pass, grab onto a chain. Test yourself. See if you can make it all the way up.
I don't think there's a chain. I think there's just floors.
No, in between the two. It can't be solid. It has.
Yeah, it's like these pods. It's like these pods you step into.
So there's not a chain connecting the pods.
There is, but it's shrouded on the other side. There probably is, but it's on the other side of the wall.
Oh, so you can't reach it.
No. It's literally like imagine stepping into a phone booth.
So it's just a wall. There's no way to get in until the door opens.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
it's like
they knew someone would try and grab the chain.
Yeah. Let me just say this.
People trying to get rid of the fun of the children.
I think Ziplines should be utilized more in modern architecture.
Okay, I'm down.
Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out on this. I think instead of stairs, no, not in place of stairs, but in addition to stairs, there should be zipline options at these places. I recognize that the liability is a terrible thing, but just say, general statement, anybody who chooses to use it, as long as the equipment doesn't malfunction and you die, it's on you. I would use that. I mean, imagine you're at the mall and you're like, oh, I could use the escalator, or there's a zip line I'm gonna take. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Or instead of bus stops, you have zipline stops. Crossing miles. You gotta think grand. Instead of airplanes, there's just zip lines to China.
So now that I think about it, and when I lived in Peru, Chipper and I hiked up to the top of.
I think I heard this on.
We hiked up to this place called. It was like Sexy Woman, and that's actually what it was called. It's not like it sounds like Sexy Woman, but
hold on. You have to debunk this for me. Remember that?
Okay.
The zip line at Doe River Gorge.
Yeah.
Do you hold on the whole way, or and you let go? You die if you let go too early.
No. You're strapped in. You're in a harness.
Is that the one where you drop into the water?
You don't drop into the water. You just hit the water. You're in a harness the whole time.
What's the one where you're like flying over and you let go and you go in the water?
I don't know which one you're talking about. I mean, there's one on a movie like that.
Yeah, it's probably a movie.
Grown Ups too, if that's what you're talking about.
I have, and it's probably that movie getting translated into my real life memories of what happened.
No, you're in a harness at Doe River.
Okay, go on. I was like,
I don't know what I was talking about. What was I talking about?
Peru. Zip line.
So when we were there, we hiked up to this. It's anybody who's ever been to Cusco, they know Saxo Woman on. You can actually look it up, but it's basically like a little park up above Cusco where you can see Cusco. There's actually like a little statue, I think, of Jesus up there. It's kind of, it looks like the one in Rio de Janeiro, but it's much smaller.
By the way, drinking Coke in a sauna does not make you feel cooler. Like water does.
I believe that.
It doesn't help at all.
It's probably like drinking a habanero
I thought it
juice.
would give you like energy, and it just doesn't. No. Anyways, go on.
But the view from up there, because basically the whole city is like almost in this bowl.
Yeah.
It's in this big valley. Imagine having a zip line go across the city of Cusco.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Would you be afraid if we had too many zip lines, the appeal and coolness of zip lines would go away?
No, not at all. There's zip lines. Are you kidding me? Dude,
they would just become like as mundane as a bus.
No, they wouldn't. It's a zip line, okay? You're flying through the air at high speeds.
What if you can pay a premium to go faster? Like put
you put
like NOS on your back.
We're getting a little futuristic here.
Dude, this is a world of zip lines. Instead of Cusco, putting money into cars, we invented zip lines to the max.
In Cusco, they're like, you can go the regular speed for this much money, or we can hand you a leaf blower for this much money. No, I'm just saying, overall, I think there should be more zip lines in the world. I think the world would be a better place. I think it would.
You think it would cure, world peace?
No.
Cure world peace?
No. The scripture
people would be happier.
Yeah. Some. Some would
But
be.
no, people would fight over.
Hey, let us know what you think about Ziplines. This is 150 Degree Podcast out.